everyone, it's Ashley here today for another episode of Stamp Create Repeat for your next stamp. Today I'm going to be making a little scene card. I absolutely love making scene cards, and this one is probably one of my favorite ones that I've made. I added a ton of glitter on here and sparkle so that it looks like it snowed and there's just a touch of glittery snow on everything. These little critters are just absolutely precious in their little winter outfits, and I've got some puffy snow happening there, and I just think this is such a cute little Christmas card. So I'm going to start out by showing you the products that I used, and then I'll get into the process video. I will link them all below in the description box as well, and you can find them over in the Your Next Stamp store. So first off, I used the Your Next Stamp Black Olive ink, the wire snips, and also these glittery firecracker gumdrops. I used this quickie glue pen and also some Doodlebug Sugar Coating Lily White glitter. That's what I used to add that glitter everywhere. I used the new Your Next Stamp Holiday Joy paper pad, and that is where that cute little snowflake pattern paper came from. These are such cute pattern papers for Christmas cards. Then I used this stamp set, and this is one of my favorite stamp sets that Your Next Stamp has ever brought out. It's called Deck the Halls, and I love making scene cards, as I mentioned, and this stamp set is like a scene card builder's dream. It is just, has so many elements. I used a whole bunch of the critters. It has a really nice sentiment that I use that says Joyful Holiday Wishes, and just, it's packed with cuteness. There's also coordinating dies that you can purchase separate, and it will cut out the door and the little stairs and everything that comes in this set. I use this die here. I use the largest one there. This is the Stitched Scalloped Rectangle die set. I also used this border die, and I used the largest one that comes in this set. This is the Puffy Cloud Border die set, and I use that for the bottom part of the card, and I think it looks really cute. Even though it's a cloud border die, you could also use it in this instance as a cute little snow pile. It looks like they're standing and there's snow behind them, and here in Canada, we get so much snow, so I had to make a lot of snow in this card. So I'm going to start out by stamping out all of the images. I'm using Recollections 110 pound cardstock, and I'm using the Black Olive Your Next Stamp ink. So I'm just stamping out the little stairs. That door is so incredibly cute. I love all the little elements that come in this set so that you can have a little wreath on the door or a bow or ornaments. There's just so many different variations and ways that you can use this stamp set. Then I stamped out each of the little critters here, and then I stamped out the bow. I love bows so much, so that is just one of my favorite elements on this card too. And then I stamped out two little ornaments, and there's a ton of other elements that I didn't stamp out, so there's a lot to choose from. So for the Copic coloring, I'm going to be using my Copic markers, and the first colors that I'm going to be using is a brown color for the bear. I'm using E55 and E53. And I wanted to make him a little brown bear. I went back in with the E55 to darken that up and blended it out a little bit with the E53. Then for the main part of the bear, I used E59. And I blend that out with E57. And then I blended it with E55. And the color tones that I use for my card, I use kind of more bluey and pastel-y colors, pinks and purples. These would be so cute colored up as well in traditional Christmas colors, but I thought it would be fun to do kind of like a wintry scene. Then I also used R20 on his cheeks there, and then for the owl, I used W3, which is a really nice warm gray, and I blended that out with W1. I go back in with W3 just to darken up the darkest portion. And then for the other part of the owl, I use E43 and E40. And then for the little beak and the feet, I use E13 and E15. Then I just go back in with E43 to darken that up, and then the E40 as well. And then just some R20 on the cheeks. Then I took my black jelly pen. I thought since it takes a little bit, it doesn't take a really long time, but just since you do have to wait for it to dry, I thought I would do the black jelly pen and add on the eyes for both the bear and the owl. And then I took my white jelly pen and added on 3 little dots on the cheeks as well. I took E34 and E30 for this cute little bunny, and I love his little wisp of hair at the top of his head. This bunny is probably my favorite image on the set. He is just adorable with his little scarf and mittens. And then I went back in with the E34 just to darken it a bit, and again with the E30. Then I went in the ears and the muzzle with W3 and W1. Now, I didn't really like how that looked. I thought it was a little bit too dark, so I went over it with E43 and E40, and I still didn't like that. So then I took some E53 and darkened it up to more of a brown color, and I thought it was perfect. That's one of the great things about Copics is you can keep layering with the colors and really get the color that you're looking for. So now onto that little fox, I decided to do for the little whitish browny areas, E43 and E40. And then for his little body, I'm going to do this browny red color, which is E18. E15. And then I go in with a little bit of E13. And blend that all out. And then, of course, I go back in with my R20 for some cheeks for both the bunny and the fox. And then I use my black jelly pen for the nose and eyes and the 3 little dots on each cheek. I just love doing that. It really just makes the images pop and they just look so cute. Now on to the little outfits. So for the bear, I decided I would do him with a pink hat, which I thought would be so cute, and scarf. So I use R32 and R83 and R81. And I use the same color combo for the little scarf. I leave the white there, later I add some glitter on it, and then I go on to the fox and I do some purple with V15 and V12, and then I decide to do some blue for his other part of the scarf in B14 and B12. And I just went back in with the purple to darken it up. Then for that sweet little bunny, I used B29 for his little coat, and B24 to blend that out. Then I went in with that B14 and B12 color for the little mittens and for part of the scarf as well. Then I just take my white jelly pen and add on some little polka dots to that coat. I think it will look so cute with the little polka dots. I love also doing that with my white jelly pen. You can add the cutest little accents on little outfits. And then I start to do the ornaments. I use E15 and E12. Then I use that blue color, which is B14 and B12. And I was trying to decide what other color I wanted to use, and I put at the top W3 and W1 for the little like metal piece. And then I used that same color combo, W3 and W1, for the little scarf for the bunny. I think that looks so cute. And then I went around the ornament with W3 and W1 as well. Then I decided to do the little bow, and because I love that little coat so much, I wanted to use that same blue color, so I used B29 and B24. And when that Copic marker kind of settles and dries, I'm going to add some polka dots on that as well. So I'm just getting a nice blend of that. And I went out of the line a little bit, so I just used my white jelly pen to clean that up. And then for that ornament, I used W3 and W1 there. And then I'm going to use the blue, so I'm using B14 and B12. And then for the other color there on the ornament, I'm going to use that pink color combo that I used on the bear, which was R83 and R81. And I just added some accents with my white jelly pen, and now I add on a ton of little polka dots onto that bow. I think it just looks so festive and cute. Then on to the door. I wanted to make the window look like there's light coming from inside. So I used Y35 and Y32. And I think that looks so neat. It just looks like it's warm and festive inside and cozy. Then I'm going to use some gray color to do the outside of the door frame. So I'm using C8, C4, and C2. And because I use C8, I really have to get a good blend between these three colors. I don't have a color between the C4 and C8, but these actually worked quite well, and I'm happy with how they turned out. It kind of makes it also give the effect of being nighttime or dark out with that light showing from inside. So I'm just doing some more of the door frame. And getting a nice blend there. And at this point, I still didn't know what color I wanted the door to be. I thought it would look really cute in red for Christmas, and I also thought you could do it in a gray color, but at this point, I was just decided that I would do the outside part gray and the steps in the same gray color combo, and then I would decide what color to do the door. I think that would be a really cute way to make this stamp set versatile because you've got this great door and you could put any sort of decoration on the front of the door for any holiday. If you put like a cute little heart, it could be for Valentine's Day card, or if you put a cute little pumpkin beside the front door, it could be a little fall type of card, and you could put that cute little bunny with the like kind of like winter or fall outfit and jacket. So you could get a lot of use out of this stamp set by using it for different holidays and decorating the door in different ways. You could put the little pumpkins going up the front step. There's just so many cute things that you could do. The possibilities with this set are just so cute. I love that door. I'm definitely going to get a lot of use out of it. And it's such a nice focal point to put in the front center of a card. And then especially for scene cards, you can kind of build off of that front focal piece. So now I'm just working on the steps, and I'm starting with the darkest color on the outside, which was C8, and blending into the middle with C4 and now C2, and I'm really getting a lot of blend in here. And my C2 started to dry out, and I didn't want to have to refill it during the video because I was starting to lose the light a little bit. So what I did was I just took my N4 and N0 because they're similar colors and used that to finish off that blend there. So for the door, I decided to go with a purpley blue color. The color that I went with is B66 for the darkest portion, and then I blended out with B63. And it's a nice bluey purple color, and I think that it went perfect with the other color tones that I picked for this card. And so I'm just blending that out. And I love how the door has this little design on it because you can really get a nice effect with the Copic markers, and you can give it some dimension. So I'm just going to blend out the other two. Then I go with the B66 around the whole frame of the door. And then I go under each of those little panels and the window on the front there. And I think it just looks absolutely adorable. Now I just took my white jelly pen to add a few accents on the stairs and also on the door. I'm taking my Your Next Stamp wire trimmers and the coordinating dies, and I'm just trimming out all the little bits that I'll need to cut this out. And I'm using some Post-it note tape just to hold down all of my little bits. This is so helpful, especially when you're making Christmas cards, because I know that that can be a lot of cutting, especially if you're making scene cards. So I definitely recommend the coordinating dies for this set, and it is such a cute set. You'll be using it a lot, I think. So I recommend the dies for sure. They're so fun to use. I just cannot get over how easy it is to trim things out with them, and it just leaves this gorgeous edge on the outside. So I'm just getting the rest of the bits that I'll need, and I'm just trimming out that little door. And if you had an X-Acto knife, you could cut out the inside of that door and make it open up so that you could have a different critter peeking out from inside, which would also be super, super cute. So I'm just putting on the little bow, and then I run it through my die cutting machine. And I'm just going to show you the reveal of all the little pieces. They are just so cute. I cannot get over this cuteness. That would be cute just like that on the front of the card. Or like I did, you can add on tons of little friends. And don't forget to put a little cute bow or an ornament on the front of the door. And then I just had one thing left to still cut out, which was that little ornament. And also my little owl, when I was running it through the die cutting machine, it must have moved. So what I did was just trim around the outside, and I was able to still use it tucked into the side. So I'm taking that scalloped die and the Holiday Joy paper that I'm using from the Your Next Stamp paper pad. And then I'm cutting that out with the largest size of the scalloped rectangle stitch die. I did that with the white and then also with the snowflake. And I'm taking the white one and I'm going to use that puffy cloud at the bottom. This is going to allow us to have some bottom like grounding, and I did this because I thought it would be so cute looking like a pile of snow. We get a ton of snow here in Canada, so I had to incorporate some snow in this picture somehow, and I tried as hard as I could to add a ton of snow in this picture, as you guys will see. So I've got my A2 sized card base, and I'm just taking this dark blue cardstock. I'm just trimming around it so it will fit on the front of the A2 sized card base, and then I can put my other elements on. So I'm just going to adhere on that cardstock bit. Then I'm going to take that snowflake panel and add that on. And then I'm going to add on that little snow bit at the bottom. Now I can put on a sentiment. So I'm going to use this sentiment that came on this set. It is really cute, and I love how it kind of has a puffy script to it, which is so perfect for that puffy snow that I have happening at the bottom. So I'm just going to stamp that at the bottom. It says Joyful Holiday Wishes, and now I can start to assemble the scene card. So basically when I'm doing a scene card, I just move the little bits all around. I kind of already decided where I wanted everything, but that's a good way to start when you're doing a scene card. You can move everything around and just see kind of where you want it to be placed. So I've got the door there, and I've got that cute little bow on the front. I move it down a little bit. And then I add on that bunny, the little fox there, and the bear. You could have him peeking out from the side, but I put him down at the front. I thought it looked nice to kind of have that like equal balance of all the critters there. And I've got my little owl sticking out from the side, holding that little ornament. So I was still able to use him. And then I just have one little ornament hanging there. So as you can see, I cut off his body a little bit when I was doing the die cutting portion, but I just stuck him into the side and he totally got used still. So now I'm going to take some glitter and my Quickie Glue pen. The Quickie Glue pen is like a pen that has glue that comes out of it, and you can get it in small areas. So wherever I want snow to be, I'm just putting this Quickie Glue pen, and this is one of my favorite ways to do winter and Christmas cards. You can just add little touches of glitter everywhere, and I'm just adding snow wherever I think snow should go. I put it on the bottom part, and I did that bear's hat. I'm doing it on the side of the ornaments, and I'm also doing it on top of that wreath because maybe some snow fell there, and on top of the little critters' heads because I want it to seem like a really snowy scene. So there's just going to be snowy glitter everywhere. I'm putting some on the steps so that it looked like there was a little bit on the steps, and then parts of the door where I think snow would land, like the little creases. And then I just funneled all that glitter back in, and I have the most glittery, cute winter scene card. So I'm taking these glittery firecracker gumdrops, and I just wanted to add on a little bit of gumdrops just to give a little bit of dimension and a little bit more sparkle. So I put some blue and white, and that is my card. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my project. I would absolutely love if you took the time to leave a comment. Please subscribe and head over to the Your Next Stamp YouTube channel and subscribe. And I will see you guys in next week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.